Coming up on today's episode, my buddy Charlie from Golden Hive Mead joins us to talk about his recent presentation at Craft Brewers Conference, the upcoming HomebrewCon in Asheville, hope to see you there, and also all the fun things he's been fermenting and side projects he's working on. So stick around. Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Homebrew Happy Hour. This is the show where we supply the answers to your homebrewing questions and discuss all things related to craft beer. And if you, my friends, have a question you'd like us to discuss on a future episode, you could go to homebrewhappyhour.com, click on that submit a question link at the top of the page. But what's that? What do I hear? You're going to call it in to 325-305-6107. Leave your message after the beep. I love hearing your voice. You probably don't like hearing your voice, and that's why we get like one voicemail for every 5,000 emails. But either way, just do it. It makes my wife think that this show is real. Anyway, I am your host, Joshua Stubing. I'm so excited for this week's episode. I actually wrote stuff down for you, Charlie. This week's episode, I'm so excited to have my buddy, Charlie Biolo, on the show today. Charlie is the man behind Golden Hive Mead, which is a fantastic resource for recipes, information, and all you need kits available on the website, goldenhivemead.com. He's also responsible for the extremely popular social channels, your TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Every time I go on any of your platforms, I'm like, he has 10 gazillion followers. Good Lord. I think I joked last time you were on this show that your channel's benefited from the Homebrew Happy Hour bump. We got you from 1.9 million to 1.879. So actually it was the wrong direction bump. Anyways, Charlie, how are you doing, my buddy?
Hey, man. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well. Hey, I think, you know what? It's possible. I think last time I was on the show, it was perhaps episode 420, if my memory serves
I think
me.
you're right. I think you're right. It was.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Thank you for the nice intro. It's humbling, and I think you certainly have had an impact.
Oh, no. Don't butter me up now. I'm self-deprecating, and let me be that way. I know it's made people uncomfortable before where they're like, wait, I don't really know him. Is he joking? Yes, I'm joking. I think I'm great.
Well, actually, the cool thing, on a serious note, like, I think my audience is, it's probably relatively split between people actually interested in homebrewing content and people just wanting to see fun experiments. But your audience is primarily like people, probably more diehard homebrew enthusiasts. So it's cool to have an opportunity to kind of talk to that audience and talk shop with you when I don't really have an opportunity to get into the weeds like I would in my normal content that caters to the masses.
Yeah, dude. No, I love it. And my audience is actually mostly middle-aged white men in cargo shorts. And the diversity, though, my Mexican mother watches. So boom! Oh,
hey, there you go.
We're cultural.
We're checking all the boxes. Love it.
Yeah, that's right. I did an intro the other week. People, I am so insecure with my ethnicity. I have to remind people, my mom's Mexican. That's why I wore a sombrero and a fake mustache and all this stuff on one intro. Anyways.
I saw that.
Yeah, my mom did not like it. But that's why I do anything I do, to troll my mother, to troll my wife. That's what life is about, Charlie. And
exactly. Yeah, you got to have fun with it.
Yeah. If before we catch up with you real quick, I'll be super short. I have a little bit of small talk to get through for people who are listening. My friends, go to patreon.com/homebrew happy hour. If you're watching here at YouTube, you see up on the screen, we're brewing the West Coast Pale Ale. It is a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale clone. Wasn't able to grab an interview with anyone from Sierra Nevada. I am now 2 for 2. I had, 3 for 5 is I've got to look at my fractions and ratios. I was able in January to get Shinerbach, Greg Hebner, in February, Real Ales, Brad Farbstein, then Vinny Chilurzo from Russian River in March, but I was not able to get anyone from Boston Beer. Boo, hiss, we hate Boston Beer. And then this month, no one from Sierra Nevada replied either. So it's okay. I'm still, in baseball, I'm batting all right. I'm still recruitable. But
there you go.
If you want to brew the Pale Ale, join a recipe receiving tier at patreon.com/homebrew happy hour, which means my pop and I will be doing a brew day live Friday, May 29th at 10 a.m. Central, right here, youtube.com/homebrew happy hour. Thank you to our sponsors, Brewers Friend, Cellar Science, Hops Direct, and Monster Brewing Hardware for, of course, providing all the premium ingredients that make these kits special and for supporting our efforts and making this possible. But again, it's not ever possible without you at patreon.com/homebrew happy hour. Stop the timer. That was all the small talk. This episode is brought to you by Cellar Science. For years, homebrewers have been told they have to choose. Do you want the quality of liquid yeast or the convenience of dry? Well, Cellar Science flipped the script. They're proving that dry yeast isn't just a backup plan anymore, it's the upgrade. Cellar Science offers premium dry yeast that delivers higher cell counts than typical liquid pitches, meaning you get a stronger, healthier fermentation without the hassle. And the best part? You can direct pitch right into your wort, no starters, no waiting, just brewing. Whether you need their new West Coast strain for a classic American IPA or jungle for a massive fruity estery flavor, they've got your next batch covered. It's quality yeast that doesn't break the bank. Save time, save money, and brew better beer with Cellar Science. Record timing, nice, my friend.
What kind of yeast are you using on that West Coast?
So they have 3 varieties from Cellar Science that I asked them, what do you think? They have their Cali, which is their traditional Chico.
That's like a Chico, yep.
And then they have a West Coast, which is like Chico enhanced. And then they have Velo, VELO, which is like higher temperature Chico. And so I hit up my liaison between me and Cellar Science and was like, what would you pick? I'm doing it under pressure. And he was like, you know what? I think you would enjoy the results if you're doing it at room temp under pressure with the Velo. And even if people in your club are going to be doing traditional fermentation temperatures, I think they'd enjoy it too. So we're shipping it out with that Velo dry strain from Cellar Science. So very excited about that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I just recently started like doing some hardcore experimentation with, multiple different things. I think for so long, for the last few years, I've sort of seen myself as a beginner mead maker, especially at the start. And it's one of those things where the more you learn about the hobby, the more you realize what you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
And so now that I'm starting to sort of try to become more well-versed in the science of fermentation and making really good competition-worthy meads, I'm starting to explore the different yeasts, and I'm actually setting up multiple different experiments where I'm testing. I've got one experiment going on where I'm testing out 6 different strains of yeast on a blueberry mead specifically, and I'm doing 6 at room temperature and 6 at a colder temperature, and I'm just going to see what makes the best flavored mead, see which yeast does the best at each temperature. And I'm excited for that video, but I'm also just excited to try to accomplish my ultimate goal of making the perfect blueberry mead.
Yeah.
But Chico yeast is one that I'm really excited to try because apparently it does really well with blueberries, which we'll see what happens.
Yeah, how interesting. I love one comment that a lot of my listeners made the last time you were on was like, it's obvious how passionate you are about what you do, and I bet that makes making the videos and doing what you do that much easier because you're legitimately enjoying the process. It's not like, oh God, get the camera out. Okay, these idiots you know what I mean? Like you're doing it because you're choosing to do it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, a lot of people probably see the one-off videos like fermenting an energy drink and they're like, oh, what is this idiot doing? And then they don't realize that I'm actually like, I love every minute of what I do. And I think I said this maybe in the first episode, but joke's on you. I also like doing the crazy fun experiments too. Like I love this. It makes it fun for me, but I do have the side of me where I have so much curiosity and respect for the science behind it all, and I'm trying to be the best mead maker I can be.
Dude,
and yeah,
I was so bummed that the Arizona tea didn't turn out good. The mead that you tried to make. I just saw your update on it.
They can't all be winners.
I love Arizona tea. That's why I was like, oh, that one's gonna be a winner. But I wonder how it would work with kombucha. Maybe I don't know if you've ever made kombucha. I wonder. I think I have Stroby Hotel going.
Yeah,
that corner. I should. Yeah. I don't know if you do kombucha. I don't know how tea normally lends itself to mead.
Yeah, I've actually never made a proper kombucha, but I do make I often use teas as the base of my meads, or I will at least put dry tea leaves in my meads, whether in primary or in secondary, strictly to add sort of that complexity in the tannin that you get from tea that you would otherwise get from grape skins. It's a great way to sort of replicate that and give you that mouthfeel of complex wine and a mead. So I do that all the time with great results. Some of my best recipes just happen to have tea leaves in them. But man, I don't know what they put in Arizona tea, but fermenting that I don't recommend it. I want to make a version because I use like the lemon flavored Arizona tea, and I want to do a version where I use like a proper, good, like high quality raw honey, and then I add tea leaves and add lemon and kind of add those
Separate
components separately and like kind of compare them. I think that would be a fun little experiment, at least for myself. I don't know if people would actually be interested in that, but
I find, I don't know how you gauge metrics on your channel, but most of the stuff you do, I think people find interest. I will think like, oh, I should do this or whatever. And like, no, you know what? I don't even want to do that. No one else is going to want to watch that. That's for real. But
a lot of the times, like, I mean, I've been doing it long enough where now I have a better idea, but at least like, I mean, there are still videos that I think are interesting that I want to make. And so like I've sort of gotten past like focusing on the numbers and like, I don't even really look at my analytics, to be honest with you, anymore. I just want to put out what makes me happy, but I sort of want to balance with putting out content that people actually want to watch and want to see. But a lot of the times, my best performing videos are ones that I don't expect to do well, and vice versa too. I'll put a ton of effort into like a like a nerdy experiment, like I said, where I'm comparing yeast or fermentation temperatures, and like, the 10 people that are interested in that will love it. But it's you got to have a balance for sure.
That's what we say, man. We have tons of people who consume the show, but dozens are entertained. That's the kind of mantra for the Homebrew Happy Hour. People say, like, no, we've seen it. You have videos, yeah, tens of thousands, yeah, but dozens are actually engaged. Obviously people, I have highly doubt anybody who listens or watches this show, even if they haven't seen your first episode, they don't know who you are. So we'll just go on the assumption that most people know who you are. Following you on your Instagram and your YouTube, I always am curious, is like the YouTube channel is where I push people for your mead for the longer form. Like your Instagram and your TikTok for me are the kind of carrot on the string of like, no, like that. Oh, that looks interesting. Yeah, go watch it on his YouTube. Is that kind of the flow that you tell people for learning more about mead making as a beginner?
Yeah, I'm actually happy you brought that up and kind of caught that, because that's sort of been the strategy all along. And I've fallen behind on the YouTube long form game. I'm kind of like doing it in the reverse order that most creators do, because I had so much of a following and have built the platform based on short form content, like the instant gratification, 30-second mead making video. And so over the last, I'd say 8 months, I've really been leaning into sort of trying to do the detailed tutorial, like helpful videos on YouTube, like building up the long form content. And I've done a pretty good job at staying consistent with that. And I have so much content, long form content, scheduled for the next year out that I'm excited about. But that's exactly right. I try to get as many eyes on like the fun stuff as I can, using short form content. And YouTube is really the place where you can go and get into the nitty gritty. And that's where I'm in teacher mode, I would say.
Well, I was kind of setting myself up to butter you up even more, because I feel like when I watch your long form, like your short form content's brilliant. And like you said, it fulfills. I have found myself, I'm 40 years old. I'm an elder millennial, they tell me. I doom scroll, dude. I am on like YouTube shorts or what. There is a TikTok for Homebrew Happy Hour now that sucked my soul. Like I was like just doom scrolling the work, just like, oh yes, more. And it's like drumming shorts, or it'll be, like Norm Macdonald. The algorithm knows me. My thing is
the algorithm knows me more than I know myself.
It does, because it's like, hey, you're going to sit here for an hour and a half watching Norm Macdonald shorts. I'm like, yes, I'm going to sit here an hour and a half watching Norm Macdonald. Hey, so what do you say, man? Like that's my whole.
Dude, I feel like even the time of day, like if I'm sitting there laying in bed doom scrolling, I'm watching. I know it's time for bed when I start seeing like the survival videos and like people making shelters, and it's like, okay, I love this, and
Yeah.
I could stay up all night, but it's time for bed.
Here for me too, let me digress a little. I'm so short-sighted and my short-term memory is stronger. I'm getting nostalgic for the doom scrolling of like 18 months ago. Like, hey, where did all those Indonesian guys in the jungle making swimming pools? Where are those videos? How come they're not in my feed anymore? What happened?
Totally, yeah.
You remember the good old days?
Or even like sounds and stuff you remember from a year ago, like
Yeah.
music and stuff. Yeah, totally.
Totally. But anyways, sometimes I digress. I'm like, wait a second, where was I going with that? No, your online presence, obviously everyone knows about it. And one thing that I wanted to talk about was your Craft Brewers Conference presentation. Your ability to engage with viewers. And like you had said, whether it's the hardcore types or just the curious, what you've done well is sparking people's interest and getting them engaged in content that on paper is not mainstream. Mead making is not mainstream. Homebrewing is not mainstream in the literal definition of the word, right? But you have done such a good job of that, as Clawhammer has and as Brewlosophy has, that they roped you guys into giving a talk. I wasn't at Craft Brewers Conference. I wasn't invited. But I know that y'all gave a talk. Can you talk about what was the premise of it and what was the reception like? Because you're presenting to craft brewers, most 99% beer, and talk about, I said doom scrolling, doom and gloom. It's a weird spot for the industry for craft beer right now, and I know they're trying to do their best to get new people in or to spark the interest. So what was the talk about, and what was it received?
That's exactly what the talk was about. So first of all, thank you, CBC in Philly, for having us talk. They put on an awesome show, and it was such a good time. And I feel privileged to even have the opportunity to talk to these big names in the industry. But yeah, the premise of our presentation actually had very little to do with brewing, which I think was received well, and it was a refreshing presentation. But the whole purpose of what I was trying to teach people was revolved around organic marketing and social media, which I don't think a lot of people expected. They probably just expected me to talk about, mead and my products. But no, I was teaching. Let me back up. I think the primary audience was probably brewery owners, people working at breweries, people in marketing. And so what I was trying to do was teach them, especially like the older generation who are relatively unfamiliar with social media and filming content and posting content, exactly kind of my framework for doing that and how easy it can be and how it's way easier. And the barrier to entry is so lower than they expect. So I showed them, myself, Clawhammer, and Martin from Brewlosophy, we kind of put all our data on the screen, has showed what works for us. And then we talked about social media strategies and kind of how we come up with content ideas, how to film content, how to edit content, and sort of how to create a balanced approach with traditional marketing to like optimize your audience and showcase your brand to the most people you can. And one of the cool things that I pointed out during the presentation was my audience I think it's like 90% of my audience demographic on YouTube is between the ages of 21 and like 32 or something. So like relatively younger people, which ironically is people who are consuming less and less alcohol over time. I think off the top of my head, I think Gen Z is consuming alcohol at I think 50% of people reported to consuming alcohol in 2025 who are in Gen Z. And in 2016, that same
Age.
not the same generation, but that same age category was at like 75 to 80%. So the percentage of people drinking alcohol, younger people drinking alcohol, seems to be going down. But we know where those people are, and they're on social media, and so it's kind of the writing's on the wall with how to market to them and how to cater to them. And so it was sort of just giving them tools and resources to be able to do that, and just showing them essentially what works for me, kind of treating it as a case study. And I did like a live video demonstration. Like I filmed the video making like kind of, I filmed the live video on stage edited and posted it all in real time, so they could see just how
No
quick and
way.
easy it is. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. But I think it was received well. People there were a dozen people that came up to us and said um, they didn't realize how easy it was to just pull out your phone and make videos, and how useful of a tool that can be to reach um, so many people, like essentially for free with very little time and effort.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like you said, I forget what you're shooting on these days. It's a Sony camera, right? Like A7 or the FX3.
Yeah, well, I mean, for 99% of my short content is literally filmed on my phone still.
Oh, nice.
But
Okay.
for YouTube videos, like long form YouTube videos that I put some production into, I have a Sony A7S III.
Yeah. Which again, in the bigger picture, because I've since some people don't like when I dwell on being unemployed. Since being a entrepreneurial freelancer on my own accord, a successful one, mind you. And Mom, I'm looking for a job. Don't worry about me, Mom. I'm trying. But since that time, I've been picking up gigs, and I'm a terrible salesman because two of these projects, I spent more time showing them how to do this in house, because I was like, I understand you don't have a budget every month or every other month or once a quarter for what I'm charging you for all the production, which is mostly what a lot of my fees go into, is all my gear I'm bringing and the editing. I'm probably preaching to the choir. Editing sucks.
Oh, dude, editing takes up 80% of my time.
It's the worst. That's why when people frequently on this show, they think it's a shtick where I'll mess up and I'll say like, okay, I'll just cut that out. I'll edit it. Even the podcast, which is very linear and more straightforward than 90% of YouTube long form content out there or whatever. Yeah. I still don't edit it. They're like, hey, you said you're going to edit it and you didn't. I go, yeah, I'm lazy. But I'll show them like the main camera I'm using here, like this Osmo, like you said, the barrier of entry has gotten so accessible that you could drop a reasonable amount of change without breaking the bank. Like someone could, in theory, drop $1,000 or less and be set up for really good content, effective content, and do it in house. You know what I mean? Like it's incredible.
Yeah, man. I mean, with a phone camera quality these days, that's really all you need if you want to post content. And for a few $100, you can get a pretty damn good professional grade production setup.
Absolutely.
But yeah, that's not even needed unless you're like actual, like you have a podcast or you're a creator like us. Like for the vast majority of the people, you can get by just fine posting content from your phone.
Absolutely. And some of the highest performing content out there isn't even really like, it's someone on their phone using CapCut. You know what I mean? Like the entire production process is from their phone. They film it, they edit it. I'm not sure if that's what you did during your presentation, if you just edit it from your phone.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'm not, sometimes when I talk about things like that, people think I'm dogging on it. No, I'm envious of how, I say envious. I find it admirable that technology has made it to where, like, there's two sides to this discussion, and because I'm in the spectrum, I want to cover both sides. The one side is man, anyone can create content now. As a longtime musician, one of the things when I was a teenager trying to get out there was like, oh, we don't have money to go in the studio and record a decent demo. Now people are producing music in their home with very affordable entry level gear that I would have killed for 30 years ago, or 25 years ago, whatever it was. But the other side of that coin is now, oh God, it's so concentrated with slop out there.
Totally.
But content is still ultimately king. You know what I mean? Like if you produce a entertaining, reasonably engaged type of content, I think it'll go recognized on most platforms.
Yeah.
Right? So,
well, one thing that I think about too is my favorite band, Bring Me the Horizon. I don't know if you're familiar with them, but okay. Yeah. So their like first deathcore album, Count Your Blessings, one of my favorite albums ever. But it was basically like recorded in a garage. Like it sounds super grungy, super like raw, like you can hear the tings of the cymbals and like kind of things are offbeat, but like their lead singer Ali Sykes was talking in a recent interview, and he said like people love that, and they love like how raw and authentic it sounds compared to a lot of the polished stuff, and they're actually like remastering that album after 20 years, and they're scared to do it because they want to keep things as sounding the same way it did 20 years ago, and it's tough to kind of convey that nowadays. But the same is true for like content. You'll notice if you're scrolling and you see a super like refined, well polished video that you can tell like basically looks like a commercial on your feed, a lot of the times people are just going to keep scrolling. It looks too corporate. It looks too professional.
Yep.
Whereas if you see a video that like looks like it was filmed in a few seconds on a phone, it feels like you can relate to it. It feels authentic. And like a lot of the times that content does better. So it's like, why why did I go buy a nice Sony camera?
Yeah.
Like my phone is going to outperform it anyways.
I'll tell you why. You're not a freelancer, but I'll tell you what's funny. I've gotten projects out of state and around the area or whatever as a freelance like director and videographer. And one project I showed up with just a couple of pocket cameras, these Osmo Pocket 3s, because pre-production, what they wanted, it was achievable through the kind of aesthetic that they wanted. So I brought some portable studio lighting and a couple of these cameras. When I show up, they're like, wait, they are expecting movie cameras or whatever, where I'm like, oh God, I forget some projects you have to just show up with the big rig just to impress the client. That's all it is.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it is. But I was like, no, this handheld thing I'm going to show you. And of course they love the end result. I was like, this is where technology has taken us. In the golden days, Charlie, I forget, are you even 30? You're not even 30 years old, are you?
27.
Yeah. Oh, you young piece of garbage. No, I'm 40. Where's my hair? When I was your age, and I wanted to do a video shoot somewhere, I'm having to check flight cases of gear, and you know what I mean? Like now, I can throw. Literally, this trip I took to St. Louis in March, got hired to go do a gig for a weekend. I was able to do everything in carry-on. What my backpack had my camera gear, and my luggage had my clothes and my lighting. And it was it's incredible. But I'll get us back on track in this conversation. People who are watching and inspired to be like, oh my God, Charlie, I'm sure there are people who are envious of your following. I'm just envious of the engagement in regards to, man, like people resonate with you. I wish I was more likable like Charlie, because it's like your content, no, people, I'm sort of joking, but I just mean people, I love how in your comment section, it's the opposite of most people's experience with online comments. When I go, it's majority people are excited and encouraging and curious, where, a lot of the old adage about YouTube comments is like, oh, that's where, the worst of the worst go to live. Like, oh, look at Josh's hairline. That was a hypothetical one. I just came up. No one's ever said that. But this episode is brought to you by brewersfriend.com. Brewing beer at home isn't just about ingredients, it is about precision. And that's where brewersfriend.com comes in. Whether you're dialing in your first recipe or perfecting your 100th, Brewer's Friend gives you the tools to brew with confidence. Their recipe builder, mash calculators, and water profile database helps take the guesswork out of the process so you can focus on what matters: making great beer. Brewer's Friend isn't just software, it's a community of passionate homebrewers sharing recipes, tips, and feedback. It's like having a homebrew club right in your pocket. Head over to brewersfriend.com today and take your homebrewing to the next level. Use promo code Happy Hour and get 25% off your premium membership. That's brewersfriend.com, because brewing better starts with better tools. But I think it's so cool, and people, like you said, at the very base of curiosity or of creativity can do it all from here, from the phone. Like, just get it. I guess I'm turning this into encouragement for wannabe creators out there. If you think you have something to share with the world, just do it. Don't worry about the production.
You never know how it could change your life. This went from being a side hobby for me while I was working a 9 to 5, to becoming my career. So it's crazy. So I didn't mean to go off on that tangent. Hopefully people, I don't know how many of your audience are interested in tech gear and content production, but
I'll tell you what my mom says. She'll send me some feedback. Her and my dad, they'll be like, son, that stuff was really boring. Let's actually talk about some new news, if you don't mind, about what you're doing on your website. Man. I saw, I'll lead with what I most recently saw on your social media and what it's for. You are currently, as of this is publishing May 21st, you are doing a design contest because you are starting to do all-in-one turnkey recipe kits on goldenhivemead.com, correct?
Yeah. So let me let me kind of give some context and explain sort of the premise of this. For the last few years, I've put together and sold my own mead making starter kits to basically make it as easy as possible for a beginner to just buy an all-in-one kit and have everything they need to make mead the way that they see me do it in my videos. The kits come with everything that I personally use and like have picked by hand because it's the stuff that I like the 1 gallon wide mouth fermenters or the plastic 1.25 gallon fermenters with spigots. And, they come with little chemical packs as well. And those have done great. People seem to love them. I think I've gotten a lot of new people into the hobby, which has been awesome. But one thing I've never done before is sold ingredients to actually make specific recipes. And it's been one of my highest requests ever. For example, like I've got a recipe that has juniper berries and elderberries and rose petals and hibiscus and lemongrass and all this crazy stuff that's kind of a pain to source. It's I mean, as you know, for beer making, it's kind of a pain to source all those niche ingredients individually, whether like you go to your local tea shop or like just on Amazon or wherever, and then you have to buy them in bulk and you have to spend a lot of money doing it. So, I had the idea to just put out these like recipe packs. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do 12 of my favorite recipes that I put in these little recipe pack starter kits essentially. And I'm going to have a few that you can buy individually on my website. And I'm also going to have an option to do like a monthly subscription where you get a new recipe every month. And yeah, I think it should be a cool way for people to, try some of my favorite recipes without having to go and source everything on their own. But so now talking about the design competition you mentioned, I let me start by saying this. I tried launching T-shirts last year, which I thought were super cool, and I had made 2 different designs, and they got a ton of backlash because people did not like that. Like one of the designs was made with AI, which it was sort of kind of the time when AI was kind of the new thing, and I was learning it, and I thought it was just a cool resource. And the thing is, like, I didn't even use AI to come up with the design. I literally have the original drawings. I made a drawing of the design I wanted.
Yeah.
Took a picture, uploaded it to ChatGPT and said, like, stylize this design so it looks more vintage.
Yeah.
And it did that. And it looked really cool, but people could like tell that it was AI made and they hated that.
Oh,
so,
gosh.
And I get it. Like in hindsight, it's like, okay, people want to see art made by real artists, not AI. Like AI has its utility for sure. But art is maybe something that should not be used for AI and we should use artists. So I sort of wanted to kind of take that and apply it to my new product. And so for these recipe backs, I do like art and design, but I'm so bad. I'll spend way too much time trying to come up with something I'm happy with. So I thought it would be cool for the recipe packs to have one of my followers and kind of commission an artist to design the label. And so I put it on my Instagram and I said, hey, like this is what I'm working on. Here's the blank box. I'm looking for somebody to make this look cool. And so if you're an artist, send me your work and I'll try to find somebody who seems like they can fit what I'm looking for. And I'm going to have, one of my followers design the packaging. So I'm super excited about that. Should be fun.
I feel like you just launched it. Have you already been getting inundated with emails from potential artists?
I've got so many to go through. Yeah, that's what I've got planned for the rest of the day.
Yeah, it would be ironic if you used AI to sort through the candidates. Like, that's what. So again, not to digress too much, but I'm learning. I've been putting in applications just to get my wife off my back, whatever. But I'm realizing everyone uses AI now in that process, and I'm just like, oh God. So I've just been lying through my teeth on my application on some things just so that the AI will put me through to the next round or something.
Got it. Yeah.
But it looks for buzzwords where I was like, so okay. And
yeah, man, it's crazy. It's a
so
different
crazy.
world than it was a year ago, even.
Yeah. I had to go to your website because I was like, no, not the Aussie shirt. That wasn't the AI. It was the other one.
It was the other one, yeah. No, the
Okay.
Aussie shirt's sick. I love that
Dude,
one.
the Aussie shirt's so good.
Although I had made and designed that shirt like a month before he died, so I don't want to say it's bad luck, but
I was gonna say good timing, but I also am not. That's inappropriate. No, that's inappropriate.
yeah, I like that. Good timing.
It was good timing.
It's a celebration.
It was an homage. Yeah, he was. Yeah. No, I loved it. And funny enough, when I saw it, I was like, oh, Charlie needs to make a Golden Axe, Golden Hive shirt. I don't know if you're probably too young to play the arcade game Golden Axe, but
yeah, I don't even know what that is. I know my boy Steve from Homebrew for Life would love that.
Is he 40 as well? Is he?
Yeah.
DIY City now.
Yes, sir.
SITY. Yeah. Love that guy, but when I first saw it, because that's how old I am, I didn't put together it was Ozzy until looking at it. I was like, oh no, that's not Golden Axe, that is Ozzy.
Yeah,
that's the best. Oh my God, dude, you made me.
I thought about, you do merch, right?
I do, but I do a third party. I'm a coward and don't want to stock inventory. Like I'm so risk adverse. I'm like, I love this design I came up with, but I don't want to buy a bunch of shirts in different sizes.
No, yeah, maybe I should. I don't have any merch that like just has my logo on it. Like I made these for like my family, friends, and like to give away. Like I've done a few giveaways with them, but I don't like sell anything. Just like a t-shirt with my logo on it or something. I've never really like seen a demand for it. Maybe I will one day, but
we have the relax, don't worry, have a homebrew, Charlie Papazian's famous saying. I have on our merch site. That's one of our better sellers. But again, because it's a third party, it's like called Creator Spring or Teespring. It's one of those.
They handle everything for you.
Yeah, and so that means a $20 shirt, I get like $1.80. You know, I get nothing.
Merch is not a moneymaker.
It is not a moneymaker. And I've also because like I was saying earlier, this has always been more or less a passion project. Homebrew Happy Hour. Now that I'm trying to run it like a business, I have looked at maybe printing a design I feel confident in, or can at least have shirts for giveaways or for people with their recipe kits when they're first time members or whatever. But stuff's expensive. I look at printing shirts, I'm like, oh my God, a minimum run's like 200 and I gotta
I know.
Oh,
and you tried. Yeah, that's once you sort of like, you think it seems from an outside perspective, it seems something that would be so simple, but then you try to do it yourself and you have to worry about, manufacturing, storage, distribution, shipping, the time it takes to either hire people, which by the way, you need to pay them to do that, or do it yourself, which takes up your own time and energy and takes away from other things. Like there are a lot of things that go into selling a product, any product. It's not easy when it's just you or a small team.
Talk about having to pay employees. I thought that's why I had children, but my children said no. They won't even work for me.
That's the secret code. Maybe I got to start. Maybe I got to get to work.
Bro, listen, I'm not going to tell you how to live your life, but go knock up abroad and start the basketball team and sweatshop, okay?
Make it a family business.
That's the marketing spin in America. We're a mom and pop shop when the reality is get back to work, kid. No, my daughters are I have a 16-year-old and a 14-year-old and a 9-year-old, and all three of them, I was like, hey, you want to help me bag hops? Help Dad? No, we're watching whatever we're watching.
Sorry, Dad, not interested.
Yeah, and kids these days too. I'm turning back into boomer Josh real quick. Kids these days, they don't believe you when you threaten them. Like you're going to help me today, and they say no. I'm like, oh crap, I don't have a response for them. I thought my tone of voice was going to convince them.
Yeah,
that did not work. But yeah, I actually talking about how difficult or the complications. Difficult's a word, but it's not. I don't want to. It's not all doom and gloom. We wouldn't do the things we do if we didn't enjoy it, right? And
I love every minute of it.
Love every minute of it. But I will say, so next month in June, I'll be able to announce I have a new grain sponsor. A lot of people who watch the show have noticed I haven't been. I love Muntins. One of the things, though, logistically, they don't have a presence in the United States anymore. Like their main distributor doesn't use them except for craft breweries. we're such good buddies with Muntins that they've been supporting the show because they love the show. Not for, there's no ROI. Yeah. There's literally no ROI because there's no call to action that's relevant to 90% of the audience. At least 90% of our audience is American based. And then like 5%
for them to get their product.
There's not, dude. Besides, they do have the extract kits, right? But we're really pushing the grains for all grain brewers, and so no one can go to their local homebrew shop in the majority of the country and get Muntins grain. So whenever that partnership, I say let them off the hook. I told them, like, guys, I love you so much for supporting this, but you're spending an arm and a leg getting a pallet to us and this and blah, blah, blah. So I do have a new, more local-based maltster. I say local-based, with the US-based distributor.
Nice.
I'll just give that away to listeners so far. They're not US malt.
Man,
Thank you. But one of the logistics and I'll say hardships, I'm home-based right now, and receiving a pallet, which is roughly 44 bags of grain, I had to go rent a climate-controlled storage unit. I was like, nice. I cannot store this all in my...
This is where my car is supposed to be, in the garage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I couldn't do that to my wife and kids. Well, I have a shed on the property that I'm going to insulate and run electricity down to with air conditioning, and eventually turn that into Homebrew Happy Hour's workshop.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
But that takes effort, and I'm cheap, so it's going to be me and my pop and my father-in-law doing it. And I think I'm old. These guys are ancient. So we're moving at a snail's pace. Thankfully, climate-controlled climate-controlled storage units are relatively affordable in my town.
Oh, so that's nice.
Yeah, it's like $40 a month for a.
Oh, that's
nothing for a 5x10, and it'll. But either way, where I'm going with it is, though, I've had very few people complain about the cost of the club because they understand through Patreon. They're joining it, and it's nice that they're getting something in return, but they're doing it as support, right? That's the idea behind Patreon. It's a community to support the efforts, and in return, I have tiers that have various, like, hey, thank you for your support. I'm giving you this in return now. And the recipe kits are one of them. But I did have a guy who joined. He was like, for $70, I would have expected faster shipping or this or this. And I was like, buddy, it's just me. It's just me. Like
I get it. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, it's like Amazon has ruined people's perceptions of of everything. And I try to be better than even Amazon in regards to the customer service side. Like, oh God, one of the issues when we did liquid yeast, and it wasn't Imperial's fault, it was my fault for not for trying to send out liquid yeast in the dead of summer. But someone would get it, and the yeast, it popped in transit, it inflated. So of course I'd be like, I'll overnight something to you, to make up for it. But dude, have you ever overnighted anything? Oh my God. Oh, it's so expensive.
It's insane. One of the comments I've gotten was like, oh, I can get this kit on Amazon for $50. Why is your kit, $30 more expensive? And it's because, well, first of all, get the two kits side by side and compare the quality of them. This kit from overseas that has totally ripped off my product, like the airlock doesn't even fit snug in the hole. There's literally a gap. Like you don't understand. I custom made my fermenter, the lid that goes on the jar, the airlock, the fitting, the grommets, everything. I had to hand pick and work with manufacturers to get it perfect. That's not the case for other kits. And also, if something happens and you're emailing customer service and you need help or you have a question, guess what? When you're emailing somebody, you're talking to me directly. You're not talking to some AI agent or So I mean, there are costs to running a small business, but I mean, I think there's reasons behind that, and it makes sense if you do the smallest amount of research into what goes into running a business and selling products.
Absolutely. And let me segue into one of the things I want to talk about before we go into HomebrewCon and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You on your page, you're a Renaissance man, Charlie. You do the mead, the brewing. You've been doing sourdough. You do carpentry. You're an engineer, right? But you were by trade. And you have that mindset. I want to talk about sourdough. That is technically alternative fermentation. There's
totally, yeah,
that counts. That's home brewing. And then the carpentry has were those always in your life and now they're making it onto your channels, or did the mead making and the brewing kind of lead to what else can I do with my hands? What else can I make?
So you know how you and your pop kind of like get together and brew beer and like that's kind of your thing?
Yeah.
That's the thing with my dad and I for sourdough. And it's actually a relatively new thing in the last year that he kind of got into and introduced me. And obviously like my knowledge of fermentation and mead making, like it's just a no-brainer. Like this is right up my alley.
Yeah.
And so we've gotten into it. We make sourdough together pretty much. We don't live in the same city, so we're not together making it all the time, but he'll make a batch and I'll make a batch and we'll try different things and tweak different things about the process and give each other feedback. And you know, it's been pretty fun. It's sort of a bonding thing for him and I to do. I just made a really good like cinnamon brown sugar sourdough loaf last week that was like, dude, it tastes like a cinnamon roll. It was so good. But so that's relatively new and is sort of homebrewing adjacent, I would say. I've actually gotten comments to make a mead, but instead of adding like brewing yeast, add a sourdough starter and just see what happens. So that's on my list of things to do. It's probably going to be terrible, but it'll be fun. It'll be great. Woodworking and carpentry stuff and like DIY projects. That's been something I've been into since I was 6 years old. I've always been into like woodworking. I pretty much built every piece of furniture in my apartment. That bookshelf behind me is made by myself, and you know, I made the cigar humidor, my coffee table, my TV stand. It's just I love doing it. If I ever need to pivot from homebrewing, I would totally get into like woodworking and stuff like that. And I posted one video making the cigar humidor just because I thought it was fun, and like there was like a super high demand of people that wanted to see more of that content.
I was me. I was like, that was so cool. That humidor is so cool.
I don't know like how to kind of, if I should make a new channel or just say screw it and just keep adding it to Golden Hive Mead and just have this giant umbrella of random content, which I mean, I guess who cares if I do? People seem to like it regardless and it's fun. So maybe I will. I guess if you're watching, let me know if you want to see more woodworking content. I would love to put it out. It's so fun and it's so rewarding. But yeah, it's been something I've always been like super interested in.
Well, and I actually am encouraged to hear that it's a lifelong thing for you, because I thought you just got into it, and then the things you were making, I was like, son of a gun, he's good at everything. This is terrible. Like you're like, okay, I'm making this humidor, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be like my 5th grade project of pine, but then it's like this beautiful piece of art.
Well, the humidor, I will say, was a bit of an exception because it was the first humidor I made, and I was using tools and techniques that were very new to me. Like making a table is way different than making a humidor that needs to have like a perfect seal.
Yep.
And you know the hinges and like everything needs to be perfectly aligned, and I wanted like a nice glossy finish on it. So it was definitely a challenge, but it ended up working out, and I had enough adjacent experience in woodworking where I could figure some things out, and I also spent a lot of time on YouTube.
Yeah, that has been a saving grace. My wife thinks I'm so much handier than I am because I will, go like, oh, our daughter lives in the like a loft in our upstairs, and she's like, oh, the toilet up there needs to be looked at. Like, I'll go fix it. Pull up YouTube. Like, first, actually, I'm part of the problem, guys. I use AI for like, the toilet is hissing and doing this. Oh,
you know what? That's something that AI comes in handy for.
It does.
For sure. Yeah,
it does. And so, yeah, I don't know how to reconcile that. Do I need to go pour a gallon of water back into the river? I don't know. I don't know what to do, guys. But I do use AI for like, help me diagnose my car is making this weird whiny.
100%. It'll filter. It'll scrub through all the different like Reddit articles and give you the best information. Like it's pretty damn good at that.
It is. And then YouTube to show me what to do. So like I can come back downstairs like, fix the toilet, babe. And she's like, oh, you're such a man. No, she doesn't actually. I've never heard that in my life from anybody. You're such a man. You're so handy.
That's awesome.
Wow. Yeah. But YouTube, is a godsend. I tell young musicians, because like when I got my first guitar when I was 12, and my dad bought me an acoustic and wouldn't pay for lessons. If you're watching, Pop, I remember, which is so funny. Here, this is Homebrew Happy Therapy Hour. they got my nephew a guitar, and he's 9, and they're paying for his lessons, and I'm like, who are you people? Y'all got me a guitar, and you're like, figure it out. And there was no YouTube back then. I had to buy Guitar World magazines and read tabs in the back. So it's like, what song am I learning this month? Oh, yep. Okay, it's All the Small Things by Blink-182. I guess this is gonna sound cool on acoustic. Yeah. But anyway, YouTube. I tell people all the time, if you have any sort of work ethic or motivation, YouTube has you covered for at least elementary stuff. Like, you could become a pretty proficient whatever you want from YouTube, but then also there's higher education to get you there to that master level.
No, totally. You know what's even like surprisingly kind of had an impact on my life is like not just YouTube, but like using short form content platforms as like for searching for things too. Like, I'll literally search questions or recipes on TikTok and kind of use it as a search engine in a way too, like beyond just watching long form YouTube tutorials like I used to do. And it's sort of, there's a shift happening. Even you can search anything on YouTube, and now half the content that pops up is short form content.
It is. I was just about to say that. It's wild. Anything I'll look up. My music days now are limited to church playing. Don't judge me, guys. But like when I was a teenager, dude, I was like, my life is gonna be sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And now it's monogamous sex, blood pressure, drugs, and church music, rock and roll. But
yeah, there you go.
But I'll go to YouTube and like I'll play drums or bass. And drums at church music is easy. I don't got to even practice for that. But for bass, I'll go on to YouTube and say, I'll type in the name of the song, bass cover, and the first 100 results are shorts, and it's just like, and it is a minute or less, just showing you, hey, the verses, here's what you're doing, and here's the run, or here's the walk, and on the pre-chorus, and I'm like, that's brilliant. Because now I have all the information I really need, and I can go and take it on my own and practice for an hour or two, and then boom, and be convincingly proficient. Not actually proficient, but convincing.
It's nice to have the option to be able to consume both types of content depending on kind of what you're looking for.
Yeah, and I never would have thought, man, that vertical form would take off. Like when it first became a thing, I was like, these idiots who want, like, just turn your phone sideways, dummy. But I don't know if vertical format's going anywhere,
Yeah, it's here, and I think it's probably here to stay. Yeah,
I agree. Today's show is brought to you by Hopsdirect.com. Grown in the esteemed Yakima Valley on the Pewterball family farm, Hopsdirect.com offers the widest variety of hops available online at incredibly competitive pricing. It's simple. They grow hops, they sell hops, and they ship hops straight from their family-owned farm to your doorstep. Producing the highest quality hops is Hopsdirect.com's passion, and they're proud to be an independent grower in the craft beer industry. Go to Hopsdirect.com right now and get what you need to make your brew day better. That's Hopsdirect.com. Getting us back on topic, you did Craft Brewers Conference, which I would argue is infinitely more prestigious than HomebrewCon, but not as fun. And HomebrewCon Asheville is coming up here in a month, actually, almost to the day. I don't know if I've announced it on the show. I think I announced it last Brew Day Live. I got my press credentials, my media credentials approved, got them from my pop too, my cameraman, my crew.
Yes, of course.
My working crew, uncompensated, but working crew. So we're going to be there. My friend, you're going to be there in Asheville.
Yeah, man.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Clawhammer's based in Asheville, aren't they? So
yes, sir. That's like they kind of helped plan HomebrewCon. They're a big part of. I think they're a big part of the reason why it's there, actually. But yeah man, it's going to be an awesome time. I think there's a good amount of brew tier brewers, I like to say, or homebrewing creators that are going to be there, and it's going to be cool to meet some people in person. I know the CH Homebrew for Life, DIY City is going to be there. Trent from Brew Show is going to be there. I mean, we have there's a whole chat of people on Instagram that are going to be there. It should be fun. It'll be cool to meet people, and also like meet you guys, the people who actually like follow us and consume our content and talk to you. And we'll bring some stuff for you to try, and we'll have some fun things planned. I can't wait.
That's what I was going to ask. I don't know how much you can talk about. They have a show floor. First off, I didn't see you you're not giving a talk for HomebrewCon, but are you going to have a presence on the show floor? Like, is Clawhammer going to have a booth? I assume they would have a booth, and I didn't know if y'all would have beer flowing at a booth.
So nobody ever like reached out to us and asked if like we wanted to do anything, but we're just going to be there and enjoy the time and like drink beers and talk to you guys. I think Clawhammer and Brewlosophy are going to do a live brew day, which will be cool.
Yeah.
And I think we were maybe going to rent like a conference room for like basically a creator lounge where like you can just come in and do meet and greets and talk to us and just kind of have a home base there. But that's the extent of it. I didn't sign up to present anything or talk. I'm just gonna enjoy it as a patron.
See, and that's messed up because I signed up to talk, but they didn't accept me. And the premise was nicotine, steroids, and other off-ball adjuncts for brewing. They didn't want my talk on that, dude. I don't understand.
Yeah, it's I don't want to pretend like I know what goes into planning these things, but like, man, you'd think with homebrewing they would want to see anything and everything, all the new up and coming like stuff that people are trying.
Yeah. It was just going to be me chewing nicotine gum and talking about anabolic steroids. It was
I love that though. You know what's funny? I'm making a THC mead today.
Are you really?
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
I've never. Well, first off, I know I can read a room despite what family members think about me. Every time you put it out there, like, what should I try next? I'm always like, nicotine gum. Oh, for fermenting. No, I don't know what you should try next, but you should try nicotine gum. It's actually really addictive.
I mean, I'm a cigar guy.
Yeah, I do.
We'll have to get a cigar together in Asheville.
Dude, absolutely. I know my pop because he's going. He always packs good.
Nice.
So we'll definitely have some there.
Yeah, I'll plan on bringing a couple. I'm sure we'll get everyone together and go out some night.
Dude, I'm looking forward to it. We're actually, my pop and I are flying into Nashville earlier in the week. And I'm renting a car. We're going to go to, I keep messing up, Gatlinburg's one of the towns, and
nice.
And Pigeon Forge, to like be tourists for a day and a half.
Oh, and you got it. Yeah.
And both of those towns I've heard have alpine coasters nearby. We've never done alpine coasters. We want to do those. So it's bobsledding on rails. Like, so you don't.
No way.
Yeah. So
dude, that sounds like a blast.
I know. So all the little money Homebrew Happy Hour mates, I'm investing in alpine coasting.
Hey, that sounds like a business expense.
It is. Yeah. My wife, when I told her about HomebrewCon, her first question was, because she knows it's not cheap to travel there, right? Even though they covered my ticket cost for the actual event, which is, I want this to be successful, and I'm not dogging on the AHA, but I do understand when people complain about the cost, because it's $300 and some change to just attend it. I get that, right? But that's conferences, unfortunately. Like, as someone who's attended almost triple-digit conferences when I had a job, they're not cheap, like to get into. But where I'm going with that is when I told her, hey, I got approved for HomebrewCon, and my pop might want to go, might make this a trip, and she was like, Is that going to be expensive? Is that worth the money? And I was like, no, you're looking at it all wrong, babe. You're looking at it all wrong.
Right.
The bills will be there when I get back, but this, hear me out.
Just let me enjoy this.
Let me have this. Oh, yeah. You would think I'd be ripe for a midlife crisis, but with my family history, I had mine in my 20s. So I'm just coasting right now. Yeah, I don't want to ask you for your predictions for HomebrewCon, but this is your first one ever to attend, right?
Yeah, well, kind of. The AHA did put on like a little homebrew. I think at the time they did call it HomebrewCon, at the Great American Beer Festival last year in Denver. And I did speak at that. I would say like I have a good relationship with Julia Hertz.
Oh yeah.
So. Yeah, that was really fun. But this is the first like official HomebrewCon the way it apparently used to be, which I had never been to the proper HomebrewCons before.
That's what I
don't know what to expect, but like I said, I'm just excited to meet people who are interested in fermentation and making mead, and maybe hopefully learning from people who are a lot more experienced than me, and maybe hopefully teaching people who want to learn from me as well. So it should be a good time. I can't wait. One thing I'm really excited about is, well, actually, maybe I'll get your feedback here. when I was in, I visited the guys from Clawhammer, and Martin and CH were there, from Brewlosophy and the Homebrew Challenge, and Homebrew for Life, and we made a donut stout. And I went out of my way and we made a donut stout from ingredients like other than donuts. It was just different grains and different malts to basically try to make a donut flavor.
Yeah.
So the grain bill was insane. Like there were like 20 different ingredients.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
like vanilla, coffee, molasses, lactose outside of all the different types of malt. But so we made a donut beer without using donuts, and then I made a donut mead actually using donuts and fermenting them. And like the idea was to bring them both to HomebrewCon and see which was better. And the donut mead was really good at first, but it's starting to go rancid from the fats in the donuts. And so I don't know if I feel comfortable bringing it and sharing it with people. I might have to I might have to pivot somehow, but maybe I'll still bring it. It'll be fun.
I was gonna say it'll be fun. If anything, it'll be something to laugh at. Hey, try this. Gotcha.
Yeah.
We have attended many a HomebrewCon, and we usually always had a booth for Keg Connection or CM Becker. And one year, I felt so bad because James put his heart into this lemon drop Pilsner. And one thing, though, that you can't account for, because we didn't drive, this was HomebrewCon, I think, Portland. You have to ship the beer up there. We didn't drive to Portland. You can't account for how long the beers just sit in the back of a big old 18-wheeler or in a non-climate controlled warehouse or whatever. Yeah. And so the first keg went great. We did 10-gallon batches, so we had 2 kegs of it. By the last day, he taps into the last keg. We didn't try it yet because we had just gotten it delivered to our booth, and the floor is about to open. And our buddy Michael Ferguson, who's an industry guy, he's been in the industry for a long time. I should call him, see what he's up to. But Michael Ferguson comes to our booth because they let industry people walk through the show floor first, like you have a badge on or whatever. And he comes and he's like, "Oh, let me try that alt beer." And Todd had brewed an alt beer. "Oh, that alt beer is great." And let me try the lemon drop. And he tries it and he looks at us funny. He goes, "You may want to try that." And it had, it was in transit because the first keg of it was perfect. It got rancid. And thank God, though, I tell James, because James got so depressed, he unhooked it and he goes to the bathroom and glub, 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 all 5 gallons down the toilet.
Oh, man.
But I told him, I was like, dude, but how you would have been more embarrassed if homebrewers who, they come to our booth and 95% of them are at our booth because they like the podcast. They couldn't care less about the retail stuff. They just wanted small talk.
No, you're 100% right. Like they would think it's funny. It's like, yeah, dude, this is not going to be good. It's made with donuts. You know what?
But it'd be funny.
It might be funny. Yeah, maybe I'll bring like the terrible donut wine, and then I'll make or maybe I'll bring something that I'm actually really proud of that's delicious so that they can try them both and kind of see the
what you can actually do.
Duality of man.
Absolutely. So wrapping this thing up, like I said, people go to HomebrewCon.com if you're interested in the show. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a ton of creators there. There's going to be a ton of, I wouldn't call myself a homebrew expert, but there's going to be a lot there. And then the NHC Awards, I don't know if you're sticking around for the actual awards. My good buddy Wayne Doucet, who was the Homebrewer of the Year last year, I'm confident he's going to medal, but he's not going to be able to attend this year. He had some other stuff going on. I told him, brother, I'll run on the stage on your behalf. Just tell them I'll do it. I'll accept. It'll be the first time I've gotten an award, even if it's not mine. It's the first.
Yeah. Hey, I'll be there. I actually have a mead competing. I won, one of my meads won in the regional, and so it made it. So we'll see what happens.
Dude, that's fantastic. I gotta stop being a coward. And I always joke, like, why enter competitions when trophies are so cheap to make? I just have my office.
It's an addicting thing because, I mean, like I said, my meads that I've won a couple different awards on my meads, and the National Homebrew Competition on a regional level. But I I think I have so much more room for improvement, especially after seeing like the feedback and the score sheets. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. There are notes of this, and there are ways I could kind of combat that and fix that. So like I've won awards on meads that I think are like not living up to my true potential. And so like that's part of the reason why I'm doing the blueberry yeast experiment and fermenting at colder temperatures and trying to optimize yeast health and trying to really refine my craft and make the best mead I possibly can as I plan on entering more mead stick competitions and hopefully find success in that. But it's sort of like you're chasing a dog chasing its tail in a way. The more you get into it, the more crazy it can be for you, but it's fun.
I can't wait to hear how that experiment turns out. But also, too, some encouragement when your mead is award winning, you got to market that when you launch all those new, like the monthly recipe kit, because now they're not just Golden Hive Mead kits that you're shipping out; they're award winning Golden Hive Mead kits, my friend.
Yeah, you're right. I haven't really done that. That's a good point. I think I've this is the first time I've like publicly like kind of said that. I don't think most people know that I've actually won awards in my meads in the NHC.
You're too humble, my friend. See, I lie about winning. And when I say our kits are award winning because members of the Trub Club, and I know I'm pronouncing it wrong, that's part of the shtick. The Trub Club, like a guy, our January kit, the Shinerbach clone, he got bronze at a regional competition in his area.
Dude, that's super cool.
It was super cool. And in years past, our Kolsch has won a lot of awards. Our alt beer, I did every now and then, like a couple times in a quarter of a year, people like, hey man, my double IPA, like someone I know one person entered the double IPA. I think it was NHC. I got to recheck that text message, but it is cool seeing people trusting the kits that we're shipping them for a competition. You know what I mean?
Because it's like, dude, that's awesome.
It's my favorite part about it where, like, I was joking about being self-deprecating, or not joking, I was being honest, but one thing that I need to do better is reminding people, like, dude, the sponsors of these kits are the best of the best with ingredients. And so these kits aren't
exactly.
It's not just some sitting in an Amazon shelf warehouse for months until the order comes in. I'm milling them the time right before I'm shipping them to you. If you want them milled, I'm vacuum sealing the hops, dude. You know how hard hard's the wrong word. Tedious it is to vacuum seal hops. God,
dude. But ingredients, it's worth it. High quality ingredients make such a big difference. One other kind of project I'm working on, and I keep going back to this blueberry recipe because I'm so damn stubborn and want to make the perfect blueberry mead. But one thing I did was I had made some videos about this too, but I went around to every single like local grocery store I could get my hands on, and I accumulated like 20 different blueberries, like varietals of blueberries. I had some frozen, some fresh, high bush, low bush, like different types of tons of different types of blueberries. And I was extremely autistic about this, but I made like an Excel score sheet, and I went and my girlfriend and I sat and ranked each single blueberry based on the sweetness, the acidity, the sourness, tartness, like the blueberry flavor, and then kind of overall impression. And I found the best blueberry in Chicago, and I found like an ideal blend of blueberries that I want to make for the perfect mead. Whereas a year ago, if I was making a blueberry mead, I would go find the cheapest blueberries I can and just mash them up and think that it was going to be good. But no, like most people don't know, you can taste two different blueberries and have way different flavors, and those flavors will transfer or will translate differently throughout fermentation too. So it's like there's so much that goes into it, but ingredients, moral of the story, excuse my rant, is that high quality ingredients truly do make a difference, especially when you're getting to the level where like points matter and like you want to make the best product you possibly can.
Brother, you did a 90-second rant and you're apologizing. I was over here like for 8.5 minutes. I'm sorry for nothing. No, I agree. Yeah, the moral of the story, which I'll reiterate for you, is ingredients make such a difference. It is wild. If you're gonna do this, and we share our recipes through brewersfriend.com. My pop and I use a Grainfather system. No shade on Clawhammer. It's just what we have. But but their app is so good. And so if you're on Grainfather, you can find all of our recipes there. And then I also have most of the PDFs on homebrewhappyhour.com. But I just tell people, if you want print off the recipe and go source them. Just make sure you get the best ingredients you can from your local homebrew supply shop. I'm all about supporting your local homebrew supply shop. Just make sure you're getting fresh ingredients and check what, crop date the hops maybe or whatever. Or taste the grains too. Most of the time they let you taste it. Just make sure they're not stale, because it makes such a difference when you have premium ingredients compared to just skimping out and going with cheap stuff.
100%. Yeah, you nailed it.
But anyways, dude, my friend, I have talked your ear off for way too long. You probably have things to do today. Lord knows I don't. I'm unemployed. I brought it up again, guys.
My goal today is to figure out the design or find an artist to design my my recipe pack kits, and B, try not to hurt myself making a THC mead.
Yeah, please don't. Yeah. You do that. I might go check out Mortal Kombat 2 in theaters. I don't know. The day is ahead of me.
Oh, dude, that'd be sweet.
Okay. My wife, no, she doesn't watch this. That's who I really was trolling, was my parents and my wife, because they're like, I thought you said you were busy that day. I thought you said, yeah. That is what I said. I lied. Anyways, Charlie, my friend, again, dude, I sincerely appreciate your time coming on the show. I won't take a year to have you on again. When you launch those kits, let me know. And not that you need our bump, but I know I would love to push my audience who does a lot of alternative things from beer. I'd love to have someone, because I've considered, I could ship out kombucha kits or mead kits. That's not my thing, though. I'd feel almost like a phony. Kombucha maybe, but the mead part, I'd rather push them. Oh, you're interested in mead? Yeah, Charlie does this monthly thing. He curates a recipe.
Yeah, man.
I would love that.
Well, I'm shooting to have the kits. I'm shooting to have the recipe packs launch in next month in June, so it'll be coming up quick, and I can't wait to I can't wait to share that with the world. If people want to find more information and resources and my products and starter kits as well as the recipe packs, you can find them at goldenhivemead.com and at Golden Hive Mead on social media. The other thing I really want to share that I'm excited about is that my Flight Night series on YouTube, which is similar to Hot Ones, where I have different guests on and we try my brews. I landed a sort of a sponsorship deal where I kind of have a studio and a production team to help me. So I'm excited to say that I'll be having lots more guests and more episodes coming out in the near future. So make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're interested in watching guests consume cursed alcohol creations.
No, it's so good. It's so good. That series is so good. Yeah, I'm glad that you're gonna have more of it now, because it was like,
totally. Oh man, if you're willing to take a trip to Milwaukee, I'd love to have you on whenever you want. So.
Yeah. Have you never heard me critique stuff? You'd be like, what are you tasting here? I'm tasting alcohol, and yep, okay, yeah, and I get knockered after like 3. I would be. Dude, you would hate that.
You sound like the perfect guest.
Yeah, here we go. Functional alcoholic Joshua Stubing runs a pseudo-specific hyper niche podcast. Anyways, Charlie, my friend, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you in Asheville, and I'll spend more of my wife's money and get up to Milwaukee, and we'll do Flight Night. We'll figure something out.
Cool. Yeah, let's do it. Cool, I'm excited. All right, man. Thank you so much for having me. This has been awesome. We'll have to do it again soon, and I look forward to seeing you in Asheville.
See you then, buddy.